to find your purpose. Stop trying to find your purpose. The goal is to feel on purpose, and the way to get there is know what your sacred gifts are. This is a foundational, fundamental piece. Knowing your gifts is not the be-all and end-all. It is not like sacred gifts is everything you need to know in order to be the most amazing person and fulfill the capacity of who you could possibly be on this planet, but it is a core, foundational piece that nobody teaches. So sacred gifts plus combining it to something that is meaningful to you. Meaningful, and it fulfills a need in the planet. Somebody needs it. In your home, in your community, in your church, at your school, in the world, whatever level it is, it doesn't matter. If you combine your sacred gifts to something that is meaningful for you, that fulfills a need or has a benefit out there in the world, you are most likely to feel on purpose. If you are trying to find your purpose, you're going to be frustrated because you know what? When I was working as a nurse, I felt that I was on purpose. Oh my God, I was a really good nurse. I was really good at what I did. I felt like I was on purpose until all of a sudden it started to not feel meaningful anymore. If I'd have believed that, like many nurses do, that that's their purpose, and they do it even though they hate it, and even though it sucks the life out of them because they think, I guess I was born to do this, and this is what I'm supposed to do, so even though I hate it and it sucks the life out of me, I'll keep doing it, and I'll try and find something else that makes me happy at night or on the weekends. I'll sell jewelry at the craft fair, whatever it is. If you believe that one thing is your purpose, you could end up just being stuck in something for the rest of your life. Instead, if you look at what your gifts are, so I'll give you an example. One of my gifts in nursing was teaching. When I was a little kid and I would play with my cousins and we'd play school, I always said, I want to be a teacher. I didn't know it was a sacred gift. I just always did. I always wanted to be the teacher. When I was an adolescent, I was always involved in group activities and a teenager, I was always involved in stuff where I was teaching somebody else, tutoring, whatever. When I went into nursing, my first nursing job was on an acute diagnostic neurological unit, which was all teaching. Everybody that had some weird neurological disorder in the province of British Columbia would come into our unit, they would be diagnosed, and then it was all about teaching them the resources that are out there, what they're going to need to do to cope at home, teaching, 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 teaching. So the gift for me was teaching. The meaningfulness for some time in my life was healthcare. There was a period in my life where that wasn't as meaningful, so at night I started to do natural health, and I was teaching something else that was meaningful to me. Then over time that wasn't meaningful to me anymore. It does not mean it's not important and doesn't need to be done. It was no longer meaningful for me to be teaching natural health, and I got more interested in teaching personal development and then emotional health and then eventually spiritual health. The gift did not change. The meaningfulness of what I was doing changed. And the need was getting greater in the world for people who were needing personal development, spiritual development, all of that kind of stuff. And I still feel on purpose. For some of you, you are using your gifts in something that is no longer meaningful to you. That's why you don't feel on purpose. For some of you, you're working in an area that's totally meaningful for you. You're not using your gifts, and you don't feel on purpose. Does that make sense? So we're going to identify this. And for some of you, you're not using your gifts. You're not doing something that's meaningful. Is that true for anybody here? Nobody. Very good. Oh, one person. Okay. Any questions on that? Yes. Oh, here comes the mic runner.
Okay, can I still use my gift? And it's not really meaningful, but there's a need I'm fulfilling.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
So does that make me, like, am I on purpose then or not?
Well, no, it's not on purpose. It's not about being on purpose. It's about, do you feel on purpose?
Feel on purpose.
Do you?
Yes. Well, no, I'm just asking it.
Well, I'm just asking
just
you.
kind of,
I mean, are you talking about yourself or you're just wondering?
I'm just wondering.
Okay,
yeah.
So what I would say to that is, what would be important to ask the person you're wondering about? Do they feel on purpose? If they say yes, then great. Something's working in the formula.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. But if they don't feel on purpose,
That's,
then,
that's where you have to look at which piece is it.
but they could say, well, it's people need this.
Yes. Do you feel on purpose doing it? Do you get up in the morning? Does your heart move you to do that?
Okay.
Mother Teresa did work that was pretty yucky. She was working with the dead and dying on the streets in Calcutta and the people that everybody else was walking past, and she could see the dignity in that person, and she wanted to make sure that person would die with dignity and her sisters would provide the care that was needed for that person and the care for the body of that person and what it is that they needed and the spirit of that person, and help them die with dignity. Now, when you look at the work she was doing, it's not pretty, and they're not necessarily having fun. Oh, we're having fun doing this. Do you think Mother Teresa felt on purpose? Yeah? Yeah. Read her book. You read her book, and she says, I cannot understand how anybody would not feel on purpose doing this, because she felt on purpose doing this. I guarantee you, there are a lot of people who could go do that, and they would not feel on purpose. It would suck the life out of them. So it's looking at feeling on purpose, not finding or being on purpose. And if you focus on feeling on purpose, you know what's going to happen for most people, not everybody, for most people, the path is going to change throughout your life. You'll be doing this over here. You feel on purpose. Kind of feels good. It starts to lose its meaningfulness. Then you find yourself moving into another direction or not. Or not. You just stay there. Lots of reasons. Pension, golden handcuffs, good wages, feeling security. There's lots of reasons why you might choose to stay in something that does not make you feel on purpose. It's not wrong to do that. You're going to feel better if you understand this. You won't have to beat yourself up. You can understand that you are consciously making a choice to stay doing something that may be using one of your gifts that no longer has meaning, does not make you feel on purpose, and you understand this and you can say, okay, but I'm not willing to give up the paycheck. I'm not willing to give up the security. I'm not willing to give any of that up. But what I will do is develop some other areas outside of my work that allow me to feel on purpose. That's okay. Not everybody's ready to just walk away from a job they don't like. Does that make sense? Does that make some of you feel better? If you're not expressing your gifts, if you're not feeling on purpose at work, it's great to think, oh, just walk away from it. Take the step, the bridge will appear. You know what? If you're somebody whose personality is rooted in the need for security, it is going to be a horrible adventure to do that. It is not going to be fun at all. So the goal is to feel on purpose, but if you don't feel on purpose at work, at least, if nothing else from this weekend, you can develop some other areas in your life where you can feel on purpose, and you will understand why. I feel on purpose over here, and why I don't feel on purpose over here, and it's okay. Is that good? Turn to somebody and say, this is good.